All men want to be jacked. They want to be muscular. They want to have that aesthetic physique. They want to have all the positive effects of being shredded and aesthetic. They want to get that attention and lust from women. They want women to stare at them. They want other men to look at them with respect. They want to be able to look in the mirror and feel this overwhelming sense of pride and happiness because of the work they put in to improve their physique and build a body that they can be proud of. You may be wondering then, if all men want to be muscular and have a body that they can be proud of, why are most men unhealthy, fat, and weak? Well, that's because most men are lazy and don't have the balls or the desire to improve themselves physically or mentally. Working out to build a body that you can be proud of is too hard. It's too time consuming. So instead they spend their time scrolling, jacking off, and wasting their lives. But here's the truth. You're capable of so much more. You can literally rewire your brain to crave training and working out the exact same way that you crave junk food, video games, and scrolling on TikTok. You just need to know how, and this video will be your guide on how exactly to force your brain to crave working out. Now, most men know that they should work out. They know the benefits. They know deep down how much it would improve their lives, how proud they would be of themselves, and how other people would view them. They'll go from being invisible boys who no one notices to the Chad who everyone stares at. But working out, it's hard, it's difficult. When you go to the gym, you need to lift heavy weights. You need to train till failure. You need to focus 100% on the lift. You need to lift with proper form. You need to lock in on your diet, on your sleep. You can't drink, you can't eat junk food. You need to wake up early. You need to walk down to the gym even when it's cold and wet and you don't want to. Most men know that they should work out, but they don't. Because it's hard, because it requires discipline and determination. But one reason why men don't work out that no one mentions is it's hard to work out because your brain is wired to chase comfort and dopamine. You've trained your brain to get that dopamine from Instagram reels, from porn, from junk food, and watching one YouTube video after another, after another, after another. These are all sources of instant gratification, where you get dopamine instantly without needing to work for it. However, lifting weights, like working hard, like studying, is a form of delayed gratification, where you get your dopamine slowly after you've worked hard. You only get the dopamine after you've already put in the hard work. When you scroll on social media, you will feel good immediately. You'll be flooded with dopamine because it releases that dopamine instantly. However, you'll feel awful after an hour of doom scrolling. It's the opposite when you go to the gym. When you go to the gym, you need to first get changed. Then you need to travel down to the gym. You need to walk or drive down. You need to get warmed up. And then you need to lift heavy and train till failure. But then once you get into the lift and you feel good, you got a pump, you'll feel so amazing and powerful because you're getting that dopamine release. However, it takes so much longer to get that good feeling from the dopamine than if you just opened your phone and started scrolling. This is why you're addicted to these bad habits that you hate, because your brain has a choice. It can either choose to go to the gym and work hard and then get that dopamine release after like half an hour, or it can just open Instagram and get that dopamine release right now. There's a never-ending battle in your own brain between comfort and purpose. Your brain both wants to do the comfortable thing, the comfortable option that's safe, but then it also wants to do the dangerous, purposeful option that would cause you to live your best life. But for most men, their brain chooses the comfort every single time. However, you can change that and train your brain to choose delayed gratification every single time instead. Now, the way that you train your brain to crave working out is using the science of dopamine. And for this, we're going to use the advice of Andrew Huberman, who is a neuroscientist from Stanford and very popular online, who explains this well. He says that dopamine isn't just about pleasure, it's about motivation. Your brain releases dopamine before you get the reward, when it senses you're on a path to achieving something meaningful. So this means that if you associate working out with progress, with purpose and identity, If you believe that lifting weights is not just exercise, it's not just something healthy to do, but it's causing you to become the best version of yourself, you start to get that dopamine even when you're walking to the gym, even when you're putting your shoes on, way before you do your first sets or you even warm up. This is how guys get addicted to working out. Now, when I first started going to the gym, it was so exciting. I would be looking forward to going to the gym all day. When I was in my A-level math classes, instead of being able to focus on the maths, all I could think of was what muscles I was going to train that day. I was going through in my mind, okay, I'll do bench press first, then I'll go into lat pull down, and then I'll be able to do dumbbell press, and then I'll move on to doing pull-ups. That was all I could think of throughout the entire class. I became addicted to going to the gym, and my brain craved working out so much. It was the number one thing on my mind at all times. I'd go and train legs and I'd barely be able to walk home. I'd do arms and I'd barely be able to lift my phone up because my arms hurt that much. But I couldn't wait to go back to the gym the next day so I could train another body part till failure for an hour and feel that good purposeful, that good dopamine. I was able to feel like this. I was able to become addicted to working out because I implemented these actionable advice into my life. And I really believe that going to the gym, it saved my life. It led me to self-improvement. It allowed me to feel hopeful about my future in a time when I didn't have that much hope. I wouldn't have achieved any of the progress I've made if I wasn't addicted to working out and improving myself. If you want to make fantastic progress, if you want to get closer to all your goals and build a body that actually makes you feel so happy and so proud of yourself when you look in the mirror, here are the exact steps to force your brain to always want to train hard as fuck regardless of how you feel. Now, the first step is to attach training to your identity. For a lot of us, our identity is that we're young men who don't like our lives that much, so we're trying to improve our physique, we're trying to improve our minds, we're trying to start businesses and become better. When this is your identity, it's very easy to skip training because you're a person who's just trying to improve. So it's okay if you're lazy sometimes. However, what you need to do is switch how you view yourself. Instead of just being someone who's just trying to become a bit better every day and exercise sometimes, someone who plays video games and watches porn and smokes weed and drinks, but then you're also work out sometimes as well. Instead, view yourself as an athlete, the kind of man who trains every single day to become the strongest, best, most powerful, most capable version of himself, who never skips workouts just because he's tired or feeling lazy. Even if every training session isn't the best, the most productive, you don't always go 100%, you still try, you still turn up and you still train, you never skip a workout. If you believe that you're an athlete who trains every day or 6 days a week, your brain will force yourself to work out so that you can keep up this version of yourself in your mind. Because every time you skip the gym, you betray that identity. You're no longer that athlete who's training hard as fuck. You no longer deserve that in your own mind. So every time you show up and train, you're proving to yourself that you are an athlete. And the more times you do that, the more confident you become when you go to the gym. And over time, this identity of viewing yourself as an athlete, as someone who is at the peak echelons of physical fitness, you become the type of man who believes that if there was 100 other people your age lined up, you'd be able to beat 100% of them in any physical contest. This is what it's like to be a masculine man who has high testosterone. You need to change the way you view yourself by changing your identity to suit what you want to become. Now, the second step is to temporarily cut out on cheap dopamine. For 2 to 4 weeks, no doom scrolling on TikTok, no video games, no porn, no junk food. When you make a decision on what to do, your brain makes that decision based off of how easy it is to get dopamine. And your brain will always choose the path of least resistance. So that means if you have the choice in your brain between going to the gym and working hard, or playing video games and eating junk food, your brain will always choose the video games because it's easier to do and faster to get that dopamine release. So if you remove these sources of easy, instant gratification, the only place you'll be able to get dopamine is when you go to the gym and work out. You force working out to become your primary dopamine source. Now, this can be difficult at first. However, it causes you to become addicted to the gym. Now, the third step is to use a trigger and reward system. What your aim should be is to make the time when you're walking to the gym, when you're training, and when you're going home the best part of your day. You should spend the whole day dreaming and looking forward to going to the gym. When working out is the best, most fun part of your day, you will want to go to the gym so much more. This is how you become addicted to it. This is how you become addicted to becoming the most fulfilled version of yourself by training hard. So if you love heavy metal music, only allow yourself to listen to heavy metal music when you walk into the gym and when you're training. Only allow yourself to watch your favorite YouTuber after you go to the gym. Only allow yourself to drink coffee or energy drinks before you go to the gym. Now, if you restrict doing your favorite things and only allow yourself to do these things when you're in the gym becomes your favorite place in the world because you get to enjoy all these things that you love and you get to have so much fun whilst you're in the gym, which makes your brain start craving it more because your brain starts associating the gym with all these fun things, with this music that you like, with a YouTuber that you love watching, with the food that you love eating, with the drinks you love drinking. So basically, your brain should say, if I train today, I can get X. If I skip training, I don't get X. Whether that's listening to heavy metal music, drinking an energy drink, watching an episode of your favorite show after lifting weights, playing video games for like half an hour after it. This is how habits are locked in when you make them fun and exciting, the best part of your day, the thing that you look forward to doing. This is how you become addicted to good habits. You make them as fun as the bad habits that you want to avoid. So you don't need motivation to go to the gym. What you need is a system that turns training into dopamine. A system that allows you to love going to the gym. Because once you start craving the gym and not just forcing yourself to go, you'll become addicted to it and it'll be so much easier for you to become consistent and disciplined in going to the gym. Because a lot of people, when they have these good habits that they want to do, they hate it. They say in their own mind, oh, I wish I didn't have to go to the gym. I wish I didn't have to go to this run. I wish I didn't have to do this. Instead, when you start craving the gym, when it's the best part of your day, you'll be like, I can't wait to go to the gym. I can't wait to work hard. I can't wait to hit legs even. Who is going to be more disciplined? Who in 5 years is going to have a more muscular body? The guy who hates working out but forced himself to do it? Or the person who forced him to do it and loves going to the gym? I think you know the exact answer. So thank you for watching, and if you learned how to force your brain to start craving working out, to become addicted to it, please like the video and subscribe to the Unlimited Power channel for more self-improvement videos and everything from the gym to business to relationships, everything involved in self-improvement. And I thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.